Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel. Hope all is well on this Friday evening or whenever you're watching it. This bout, and this is another bout in our heavyweight championship tournament, and we're using title bout championship boxing. And our matchup tonight is Michael Dokes versus Chuck Wepner from Yankee Stadium. Michael Dokes would win the WBA version of the heavyweight title with a controversial first-round TKO of Mike Weaver. Weaver thought the fight was stopped early. He would come back and have a draw with Weaver, and that was in 1982 when he won the title. 83, he had the draw with Weaver, and then later in 1983, September 23rd to be exact, he would lose his title via 10th round knockout to Gerrie Coetzee, the South African. Dokes' big wins were over Mike Weaver. He had a controversial win over Randall Tex Cobb. He would have a comeback that would be quite successful, and he had a tremendous fight, I believe it was Fight of the Year, with Evander Holyfield. For Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder, Wepner's two big wins came over Ernie Terrell, the former heavyweight champion who was past his prime, and then top 10 contender who would go on to be a boxing referee, Randy Newman. But his claim to fame was going almost the 15-round distance with Muhammad Ali in 1975 in Cleveland, Ohio, where he is credited with knocking down Ali with a body punch, though his foot was on Ali's foot. But it was a knockdown. As Ali did say, he did get knocked down. And now, let's go to ringside. So Michael Dynamite Dokes enters a ring here at Yankee Stadium with a 53 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, and 34 knockouts. His trainer is Johnny Taco. His cut man is Eddie Aliano. He is wearing white trunks with red trim and white boxing shoes. Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder, also best known for inspiring the movie Rocky, as Sylvester Stallone was watching the Wepner-Ali fight. 36 wins, 14 losses, 2 draws, and 17 by knockout or stoppage. His trainer is Al Braverman. His cut man is Freddie Brown. Let's give you some statistics on Michael Dokes. Let's look at his boxing card in Title Bout Championship Boxing. Dokes stood at 6'3", reach of 78 inches, and he's weighing in for this bout at 210 pounds. Dokes can fight as either a boxer or a slugger, and he is average for both fighting inside, outside, covering up, and going for the knockout. 2 out of 4 for all of them. He will clinch on the inside. Conditioning is a 9. Intellect is a 7. Proficiency is a 10. He is susceptible to a knockdown and a knockout. He's an aggressive fighter with an 8. Endurance is an 8. Defense is neutral. And his hitting power is 6 out of 15. He likes to work behind the jab and throw combinations. His overall title bout ranking is an 8. That's 8 out of 15. Let's check out Chuck Wepner's card. the Bayonne Bleeder from New Jersey. Will be weighing in at 225 pounds, and he is 6'1". He did not want to be measured for his reach. He is a slugger. He'll foul occasionally. Fights on the inside 2 out of 4. Outside below average and cover up below average 1 out of 4. Going for the knockout 2 out of 4. So Dokes has a slight advantage there. Both fighters will clinch, maul, and brawl on the inside. Intellect 5 out of 10. Proficiency, when he gets in a rhythm, he is 10 out of 10. He knows what he wants to do. Control versus a boxer is a 9. Control versus a slugger is an 8. So he has a little more trouble with a slugger. He is very susceptible to cuts. As you can see, he is a 4, and that's the worst rating you can have. And he is a sieve for defense. He has no defense. He's a 6. So that's 6 additional punches landed, opportunity landed for his opponent, Michael Dokes. He's not a big puncher at all, only a 2 hitting power. And most of his blows won't have a lot of power behind it, as he does not have a lot of three-point punches. What he tries to do is mug you on the inside, a very tough man, a very scary man. You would not want to have met Chuck Wepner in a dark alley. His overall title bout rating is a 3. The fight options. It's a 15-round fight in our first round of our heavyweight championship tournament. This is bout 17. The strategy will be automatic strategy for Michael Dokes and Chuck Wepner, produced by the Title Bout Championship Boxing Sim computer. I will have nothing to do with the strategy. I'm just calling the fight. The venue is Yankee Stadium, and we're going to have a plethora of fights at Yankee Stadium. A lot of fights coming up. The next fight after this will be Gerrie, Corey, and Shannon Briggs. The ring announcer is Michael Buffer. The referee is Arthur McGanty. The 3 judges scoring at ringside: from England, Mickey Van; from the United States of America, Larry Hazard; and from Puerto Rico, Tony Perez. Rare incident stoppage. It's a draw until 50% of the scorecard, and then they will go to the scorecard. The fight is scored by the 3 judges. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and the mandatory 8 count. It is a 10-point must system. The winner of a round will get 10 points. The loser, less. You can never be saved by the bell, and a stoppage can either come from the referee or the doctor. Michael Dokes can fight as a boxer or a slugger. He has a control factor of a 9 versus a boxer, a control factor of a 9 versus a slugger. He will have a slight advantage over Chuck Wepner when it comes to controlling the pace and ring generalship of the bout. Wepner, as we stated, 9 versus a boxer, 8 versus a slugger. It's going to be interesting if Dokes decides to slug it out. Wepner almost would like it a little better, as he'll be able to get on the inside. Let's go to the training aspects. Dokes with a tremendous edge in power, 46% out of 100. You can see Wepner's only 15%. Wepner does have a slight edge in endurance, 90% to 80%. And this is where the huge, huge advantage is. Not that Michael Dokes is a great defensive fighter, because he's not. But he's 50% defense, and you see that correct. Chuck Wepner, a defensive sieve, is 0. He will get hit with pretty much anything you throw at him. Hand speed, another tremendous edge for Michael Dynamite Dokes, 75% to 50%. But only in tactical skills, Dokes has a slight edge, 57 to 50%. Let's move on to the fight. Michael Dokes trained hard, and he is chafing at the bit, waiting for this fight to begin. By all accounts, Wepner has gone, was in the gym, was a gym rat before the fight, and he looks great. So Wepner is in shape, and so is Dokes, as all fighters for these tournaments fight in their prime, tip-top condition. And let's just make sure we have that set correctly. Yep, prime top condition. Okay. So in Michael Dokes' corner, Johnny Taco and Eddie Aliano. I loaded up pictures. That's pretty cool. And Chuck Wepner's corner, Al Braverman's his trainer, and cut man Freddie Brown. They'll probably have to have one man for each eye for the Bayonne bleeder. The venue is Yankee Stadium. Michael Buffer is the ring announcer. Arthur McCanty is the referee. Mickey Van, judge number 1 from England. Larry Hazard, judge number 2 from the United States of America. Tony Perez, judge number 3 from Puerto Rico. The ringside expert for Title Bout Championship Boxing is Mike Hansen. As both fighters are in the ring, Arthur McCanty brings them to ring center with their corner. And at ringside, reporting for the Ohio Times, is Dog Sidious. Check out that wonderful channel, Dog Sidious, for all things Star Wars and entertainment. Dog Sidious. Reporting for the Ohio Times. Mercanti asks the question. Any questions from the Dokes corner? Johnny Taco says no. Any questions from the Wepner corner? Braverman says no. Fighters go back to their corners. They wait for the bell for round number 1, scheduled for 15 rounds. This is bout number 17 of our heavyweight championship tournament. And we are still in round 1. All bouts were picked by a random draw. And Dokes and Wepner really got a pretty good draw here. It's a winnable fight for both, though I think Dokes would be the favorite in this, as Wepner, as I said, a defensive sieve, and probably came out of the dressing room already bleeding. And here's the bell for round number 1. Both fighters to the center of the ring, pawing with their jabs. Wepner throws a couple, he misses, and Dokes jumps in on the inside, lets his hands go quick, and again on the inside, he rips to the head and body. Wepner comes back with a 1-2, pushes Dokes away. Dokes comes back with a 1-2, they're standing toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Dokes gets his punches off first, he's opening up, Wepner's eating punch after punch. Wepner ducks away from that one, he's in a bit of trouble. Dokes lands a big right hand off the combination. Those punches were blocked by Wepner. He's trying to smother Dokes on the inside. Under a minute to go here. They tie up, they break, and again Dokes lets his hands go. Wepner's in a bit of trouble here. Tony Perez looking on. Wepner opening up with both hands. Dokes opening up with both hands. Wepner backing up, and there's the bell. A huge round for Michael Dokes. Oh my Lord. Wepner took a beating in that round. Michael Dynamite Dokes just let his fast hands go on the inside and rat-a-tatted Wepner. Let's quickly go to the Wepner corner. And Al Braverman and Freddie Brown. They're very concerned. Wepner landed 2 punches, I believe. And they're already doing some light end swell work. Freddie Brown on the left eye, Braverman on the right eye. And Freddie Brown is admonishing Wepner, saying, get in on the inside and rough him up. He was there for you to hit. Get on the inside, rough him up, let your hands go, push him back, maul him, brawl him. Let's go to the Dokes corner before we go to the scorecard unofficially. Johnny Taco very happy with his fighter. Eddie Aliano rubbing some grease on Dokes' face. Johnny Taco gives Dokes a swig of water, says, keep it up, just let your hands go, we'll have an early night, you're going to cut him up. Let's go to the scorecard. That could have been a 10-8 round, and I'm actually going to score it 10-8 Dokes, as he completely whitewashed Wepner. Unofficial scorecard now. Mike Hansen, he gives it 10-9 for Dokes. I give it 10-8 for Dokes. Now let's go to the punch stat numbers before we go to round 2. Reporting for the International Netherlands newspaper is Beatles Eternally. He's at ringside. How are you, Beatles? Moderator extraordinaire. He's our international correspondent. And we'll go to the punch stat numbers for Dokes and Wepner. Michael Dokes hit Chuck Wepner with everything, including the kitchen sink. He landed 54 punches. Everything he threw landed practically. Uppercut, everything. He just beat the bejesus out of him. Nailing him with crosses when he was at just outside punching range, and then on the inside ripping uppercuts, throwing hellacious combinations. Chuck Wepner landed a total of 5 punches. He only threw one decent combination of 1-2. And we get ready for round number 2. Michael Dokes looking for an early evening and going to get a bite to eat here in New York City. We are at Yankee Stadium. Here's the bell for round number 2. And both fighters off their stool. And both fighters looking to fight on the outside. Dokes throws a couple of jabs, misses. And Wepner's jab is straight and true. He lands a 1-2, and Dokes comes back with a 1-2-3. Comes in and out, bouncing in and out on his toes. Wepner ties him up, tries to rough him up on the inside. And again they tie up on the inside, roughing it up. And Dokes lets his hands go. Lands a 1-2-3 combination. And another 1-2! And Wepner felt those blows, starts to back up. Under a minute and a half to go here in round number 2. Wepner's unable to land punches. Dokes looking to load up. Big right hand by Wepner, misses. Dokes comes back with a tremendous flurry, snapping Wepner's hand over and over again. And there's another 1-2 combination. Wepner's in trouble. Wepner's covering up, pushes Dokes away. Dokes works free on the inside, battering Wepner to the head and body. Perez looking on. Wepner's all but defenseless. He ties up, and there is the bell. Another huge round for Michael Dynamite Dokes. Landing TNT over and over again on Chuck Wepner's head and body. Fans on their feet. How much longer can Chuck Wepner take this hellacious beating? Let's quickly go to the Wepner corner. And again, Braverman on the left eye, Freddie Brown on the right eye, doing some end swell work. And they're saying, Chuck, wake up. Either fight or we're going to stop it. You're a human punching bag. Now we go to the Michael Dynamite Dokes corner. And Johnny Taco says it's going to be an early evening, champ. An early evening. Eddie Aliano gives Dokes a swig of water. Again, works a little grease around the face. Now rubs up the arms a bit. Let's go to the unofficial scorecard before we go to the stats. Again, another whitewash for Michael Dokes. He might get tired from hitting Wepner so much. If that's Wepner's strategy, it's not a good one. So once again, Dokes on the Mike Hansen Title Bout Championship unofficial scorecard, 10-9. I give Michael Dokes another 10-8 round. Those are 2 tremendous rounds. Everything he threw, he landed. As Wepner tried to stay on the outside and worked offensively behind the jab, Dokes was going to counter, but as soon as he hit Wepner and saw that he could just tee off on him, he did. Let's go to the punch stat numbers before round number 3. Dokes lands 42 punches. Punch of choice, the cross, and he worked well behind the jab, landing that 15 times, landed the right cross 10 times. Both fighters are orthodox fighters. Left hand jab, right hand cross. Wepner did land 12 punches on the, just pity-pat punches trying to defend himself. He is getting battered. And we get ready for round number 3. Tony Perez really looking at Wepner in that corner. And here's round number 3. And Wepner again is going to try to stay on the outside, clear his head a bit, try to work behind the jab. Now he ties up. Tries to rough up Dokes on the inside. They break. Both fighters throw, and Wepner gets his punches off first and lands. Wepner missed with a big right hand there. Dokes counters him with a 1-2. Wepner backs up a bit, trying to work behind a pawing jab. And Wepner crushes a hook to the body, an uppercut to the head. Dokes reels. Wepner has an opportunity here. He's got to open up. Dokes is still hurt. Dokes comes back with a 1-2, trying to keep Wepner off, and now Dokes sticks to the body. Dokes letting his hands go. Wepner just cannot get his punches off. Opportunity slipping away here for Chuck Wepner. Dokes clearing his head. We're under 30 seconds to go here in round 3. And Wepner comes back with a 1-2-3. Again, the uppercut rattles Dokes. Dokes backing towards the ropes. Wepner tries to load up. Lands a big right hand at the bell. A huge comeback round for Chuck Wepner. What a rocky moment for Chuck Wepner. After being battered like a piñata for the first 2 rounds, Wepner comes back like the tough man he is. Rumors are he was a collector for the mob at times in New Jersey. As I stated, you will not want to meet Chuck Wepner in a dark alley. I would take him 9 out of 10 times over most pugilists in a dark alley. And let's go to the Wepner corner, where they're much more happier, as Wepner just went in, mauling and brawling. Fighting on the outside, well, that went out the window once he got tagged. And again, just some light end swell work. It's amazing Wepner has not, that thin skin of his has not broken open. You do see a little bruising around the eyes. And again, Al Braverman working the left eye with some end swell. Freddie Brown the right eye. And they're saying, that's it, Chuck. That's what we want you to do. Mug this guy. Quickly to the Dokes corner before we go to the scorecard. And Johnny Taco, none too happy. Chuck Wepner has virtually no punching power, and he rattled Dokes twice. And look who has the swelling. It is a 13% swelling around the right eye of Michael Dokes. Eddie Aliano, one of the best cut men in history, is working on that quite feverishly to get that swelling down. That could be a hampering for Michael Dynamite Dokes. As I stated, Dokes hit Wepner so much in the first 2 rounds he could have been a little winded. And Wepner took advantage of it. And again, Dokes is fighting as a slugger to get more of a control factor. You can see that right there. And let's go to the unofficial scorecard. I'd give that a Wepner round 10-9. And Mike Hansen, the unofficial scorer for Title Bout Championship Boxing, also gives it to Wepner 10-9. He has it 29-28, Michael Dokes. I gave the first 2 rounds 10-8 for round 1 and 2 for Dokes, so I have a bigger lead. I have Dokes by 3. 10-9 that round for Wepner. Now let's go to the punch stat numbers. And Dokes, even in a round where he got hit a lot, he still landed 24 punches. Wepner landed 30, but the deciding factor, the light-hitting Wepner, was able to rattle Dokes, and that's not going to bode well if Dokes is able to advance in this tournament and he faces a bigger puncher. Remember, Harry Coetzee knocked him out in the 10th in Cleveland, Ohio, to win the WBA Heavyweight Championship. And again, the punch that really rattled Dokes was the uppercut, and Wepner was able to land 4. That was a punch that hurt. And let's just check out the conditioning, the endurance. It's fairly even still. Dokes might have a slight edge. Again, Dokes took... That was a close round. Dokes did lose it. All right, here we go for round number 4. The fans are not in the seats at all. They're enjoying this bout. Bout number 1 from Yankee Stadium. Up next, Gerry, Corey, and Shannon Briggs. Here's round number 4. And Wepner comes out to rough up Dokes on the inside, and Dokes is going to oblige. Both fighters throw, but don't land. Now, Dynamite Dokes lets his hand go on the inside, snapping Wepner's head back over and over again. Another quick, hard combination by Dokes. The hand speed could be too much for Wepner. He ties up, tries to work the free hand. He's got to tie him up, maul him, and brawl him. Dokes pushes him away. Neither fighter landing any of the punches. Now Wepner lets his hands go. Dokes felt those. Swelling around that eye is getting worse. Wepner throws a 1-2 that lands. Dokes comes right back on the inside with a 1-2-3. Under a minute to go. Big left hook by Dokes, miss. But those punches did it, as Dokes digs to the body, up to the head. And now Wepner's starting to swell. Dokes again digs to the body and goes up to the head. Wepner concerned with that swelling. He lands a weak jab, but a counter right nails him by Dokes, and there's the bell. Good comeback round for Dokes. The hand speed is the difference here, folks. Both fighters throw on the inside. Dokes' hand speed is dominant. And unless Wepner starts his punches first, he is not landing. A big round for Dokes, though I only give it 10-9. Both fighters felt each other's punches. Now let's go to the Wepner corner. where he's starting to swell up now on the left eye, and Freddie Brown is working on that. Braverman saying you just got to get on the inside, rough him up, and let your hands go. Dokes is not letting him tie him up on the inside. Wepner wants to tie him up and work the free hand and rough him up. And now there's also, we've noticed there is a cut outside right eyebrow, and that's bleeding. And Freddie Brown is working on that also. Braverman quickly takes over on the left eye as Brown works the cut on the right eye. So the sieve defense of Chuck Wepner has now come into play, as his face is now going to become a bloody, swollen Hamburg mess. Raw Hamburg. And let's quickly go to the Dokes corner. They're much happier with round 4 than they were with round 3 when Dokes was rattled twice. But the swelling on that right eye is 15% still. So both fighters lumped up. They're standing toe-to-toe, billy goat to billy goat. Again, the big difference, it's not even the punching power of Dokes, where he does have an edge. He's a 6 rank for punching power, where Wepner's only a 3. It's the hand speed. Let's go to the unofficial scorecard. And Mike Hansen gives another 10-9 round to Dokes. I'm in agreement there. So he has Michael Dokes up 3 rounds to 1, or 39-37. I also have it 3 rounds to 1. But I gave the first 2 rounds, rounds 1 and 2, 10-8 to Dokes. So I have a 4-point difference in favor of Michael Dokes. Let's go to the punch stat numbers. It was a good give-and-take round for a bit, but then the hand speed just keeps Wepner off balance. Dokes lands 36 punches. Wepner landed 12. That's about right for Chuck Wepner. Again, Dokes working behind the jab to get to the inside. Then he just let his hands go. Combinations, 8 of them thudded against Wepner's head or body. And on the inside, he nailed him with 7 uppercuts. Wepner was unable to land the uppercut like he did before. He only landed 2. Not much punching power behind those punches like in round 3. We move on to round 5, and what's become a bloody, swollen mess for both fighters. Here's round number 5. And again, they're going to fight on the inside. Both fighters move to the center of the ring. And again, Dokes' hands go first. And again, he lands. And again on the inside, ripping shots to the head and body. Back down, and down goes Wepner! Oh, he never saw that punch coming. Mercanti picks up the timekeeper's count at 4, 5, 6. Wepner's up. He'll take the mandatory 8. There's the 8 count. Perez wipes the gloves. And now fighting commences. Wepner trying to cover up. Dokes opening up, looking for the stoppage. He's landing over and over again. Wepner tries to duck underneath. This fight could be coming close to an end. Perez looking on. Wepner eating every punch, rights and lefts. His head snapping back and forth. Blood all over his face. Dokes just continues to open up. This is close to being stopped here. Under a minute to go. Wepner tries to hold on. Dokes pushes him away, and again rat-a-tats. And down goes Wepner for the second time. Mercanti picks up the timekeeper's count at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wepner rolls over. He's trying to get up. He's on his knees. This bout is over. Michael Dynamite Dokes knocks out Chuck Wepner at the 26-second mark of round. With 26 seconds left in round number 5. He dropped Wepner early in the round, then took him out late. The combination punching and hand speed was just too much for the Bayonne bleeder. As Al Braverman and Freddie Brown come into the ring with the ringside physician, and they try to get Wepner up onto the stool, he is a bloody mess. Oh, wow. A big win for Michael Dynamite Dokes. The hand speed proves too much for Chuck Wepner. The man who almost went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali could go under 5 with Michael Dynamite Dokes. As now Wepner's back up on his stool, a disappointed pugilist. A very happy Michael Dokes. And his corner is ecstatic. Johnny Taco and Eddie Aliano. Michael Dokes will be moving on to round number 2 of this heavyweight tournament. A tremendous victory for Michael Dokes, scoring a knockdown and then the knockout here late in round 5. Michael Buffer has the call, ladies and gentlemen. The end comes at the 2:34 mark of round 5. The winner by knockout, Michael Dynamite Dokes. Tremendous effort by Dokes. Again, he got a really nice blind draw in round 1 of this heavyweight tournament. Up next, Gerry Quarry and Shannon Briggs. So stay tuned for that one, folks. I'll be in about 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes if you'd like to come back and watch. Probably going to be a boxing weekend. Going to try to get some more of the tournament in. And let's just go to the final punch stat numbers. And Michael Dokes almost landed 50% of his punches. He landed 48.1%. Again, Chuck Wepner, a defensive sieve. Anything you throw at Wepner is going to land. Wepner just landed under 30%, 29.5. Dokes' punches landed per round, 43. Wepner, 12. Total punches landed. Michael Dokes in under 5 rounds landed 216 punches to Wepner's head and body. That's why Chuck Wepner was a bloody mess being knocked out by the end of round 5. Wepner landed 64 punches. Basically whatever Michael Dokes threw. Again, Michael Dokes' tremendous hand speed against Chuck Wepner. He landed. And for ha-has, let's look at the official scorecards. And Mickey Van had it 39-37 after 4 for Michael Dokes. Larry Hazzard of the United States also had it 39-37 for Michael Dokes. And Tony Perez of Puerto Rico also had it 39-37. Wouldn't matter. Michael Dokes would end it in the 5th with a knockdown, then knockout. Total punches thrown by Dokes, 449. Wepner threw 217. Wepner was able to land his hooks, but again, there's nothing on those punches. He landed 20 hooks on the inside. And just a tremendous effort by Michael Dokes and a hellacious beating that Chuck Wepner took, as he was a swollen, bloody mess when he hit the canvas. And let's go back to the fighters and update their records. So we will now include the sim bout to their actual records. And Michael Dokes' record improves with the sim bout to 54 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws. He now has 35 knockouts or stoppages. Chuck Wepner is out of the tournament. He's now 36 wins with now 15 losses, 2 draws, and 17 KOs. So Michael Dokes advances to round 2. We don't know who his next opponent will be, as again, round 2 will be a blind draw. So from Yankee Stadium, we'd like to thank Beatles Eternally, our international correspondent from the Netherlands, and Dog Sidious, reporting for the Ohio Times. They were at ringside. What are your thoughts on the bout? Before we leave, if you'd like to share any, I will wait a moment. And for the other people who watched, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, we do a lot of this on the channel, and you like this stuff, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notification. Share, comment, enjoy. As we wait for our correspondents, Beatles Eternally and Dog Sidious, if they have any comments before we leave ringside and prepare for our next bout, Gerry Quarry and Shannon Briggs from Yankee Stadium. Again, Michael Dokes is the winner, 5th round knockout, hand speed way too much for Chuck Wepner. The Bayonne bleeder went down early in the 5th and then was knocked out clean before the end of the round, with 26 seconds left in the round. All right, we will call it a stream. Thank you very much. Hope everyone enjoyed it. We'll be back with Gerry Quarry, Shannon Briggs in about 15-20 minutes or sooner, depending how quick I can set the bout up. Watch out for that big left hook, folks. And as always, health and happiness. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless. And peace!